Hey, Mark Hunter, and I got Anthony. And boy, take a look at this book, The Only Sales Guide You'll Ever Need. Anthony, you hit a home run with this, baby.
Oh, thank you.
Congratulations.
I
Yeah,
appreciate that. I
yeah.
appreciate you holding it up so prominently.
Well, hey, I'll hold it up in front of the screen. But hey, you know what? I mean, we're not just trying to pitch the books. What we want to talk about, though, is some of the myths around prospecting. And you know the arguments. You hear them, I hear them. Well, if I didn't have so much work with all my existing clients, I got to make sure I got to take care of my existing clients. I got to keep them happy, and I just don't have any time for prospecting. How many times has that driven you crazy?
I can't count that high.
Yeah.
I mean, that is it's a great excuse, because what it says is it's not an excuse for me, because I wouldn't accept it and you wouldn't either. It's an excuse that the person's making for themselves to say, I'm really working hard. I am busy. And I believe them. I believe them that they are working hard and they're busy, but they're not doing the thing that's going to help them to grow their business or to make their number or to prevent themselves from having a really bad year when that one big account leaves for some reason that you had no control over. That is that is an excuse that you make, because you can say, I'm working hard, so you can't judge me. Well, I can judge you because you're working on the wrong thing.
Yeah. You know what? I think that excuse, that myth gets propagated by sales managers, because sales managers have a tendency to focus in on the existing customers. They tend to focus in on, oh, we got to take care of this. We got to take care of this. So it's only natural that when the sales manager is focused on existing accounts, that's what the salespeople become focused in on. And it's amazing because we've all watched, oh, well, and it continues by saying, well, if we take care of existing customers, we're going to deliver great customer service, and great customer service will in turn attract more customers. Okay, that's great, but good customer service alone isn't going to generate you enough new business to keep growing your business.
You know what?
Again, I'm sure. Yeah.
What's funny about that is that if you go to a business and you say, you know what's important? Customer retention. Yeah, that's true. And you know what else is important? New client acquisition. Yep, that's true too. And you know what else is important? Excellent customer service. That's important too. And you know what else is important? Executing on what you sell flawlessly so people get the result. Which one of these is more important? Everything's important. You don't have one thing. You can't say that this one thing is the only thing that's important. In business, everything is important. Is profitability important? Sure. Is accounting, is it good to have good, clean invoices show up that people can pay? Yeah, that's important too. Every single thing is important. So you have to say, I need to prioritize. But the growth of a business only comes from three things, Mark, and you know this. It's from adding new clients, selling more to your existing clients, and raising your prices. That's only three things. You got to do all three of them. And whenever you decide, I'm going to ignore a couple of these, you're not going to grow your business as fast or as well as you could.
Which means you've got to be good at allocating your time.
Yes.
You have to be able to segment. The best prospectors, I know what you see and what I see out there, are the ones who allocate their time. And it's not, well, I'm going to get to prospecting when I get caught up with everything else. No, it's having that dedicated time. It's kind of interesting, but if you look at high-performing people, and not just high-performing salespeople, but high-performing people in general, they are driven by their calendar. Now, they set their calendar based on the outcomes they want to achieve. What are the outcomes they want to achieve? And then how do they allocate their time? Because they realize their time is their most valuable resource. And they stick to it. They absolutely stick to it. I see too many salespeople thinking about prospecting. I'm going to prospect tomorrow, but they never actually get around to doing it.
I'm going to eat better tomorrow too. And I'm going to start exercising tomorrow, and I'm going to save more money tomorrow.
Hey, you know what? That's kind of a good point. When you stop and think about that, let's see. I'm going to start working out. I'm going to get on a diet and all that sort of stuff. Those are lame things right up there with I'm going to prospect better. Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Because the other thing I always hear is, well, we have such a great advertising, we have such great marketing, or we have such great social media that we don't have to prospect, because prospecting is really for companies that don't have their act together. If you have your act together, people will be the path to your door.
That is the myth that probably is most relevant right now and most widely spread. That's the infection that most salespeople are getting. And that is the myth that inbound is going to do the prospecting for me and I shouldn't have to. And they're waiting for inbound leads to come in. And when they get them, in my experience, they tend to be very low quality, number one. Number two, they're tire kickers in a lot of cases, just checking to see what else is available. And they're not what I would call dream clients. I mean, the clients that you're going to create breathtaking, earth-shattering, jaw-dropping value for, and who are going to let you capture some of that in the way of high profit, so you can deliver exceptional experience and deliver exceptional outcomes. They're not doing any inbound. They're not trying to find you because they already have somebody who looks like you and does what you want to do. And they have a great relationship with them and they're a strategic partner. You've got to work really hard to get those. And that's called prospecting and nurturing. And it takes a long time. The longer you wait to begin that work, the less likely it is that you're going to win those accounts. And you can wait for inbound, but you're going to wait a long time. I often tell salespeople, if you're not getting the inbound, then you need to stare at your phone harder. I mean, you're not staring at the phone hard enough. Stare harder so that it rings.
There you go. You know, it's so interesting, but an example I love to use is you can't take a Walmart shopper and make them a Nordstrom customer.
Yeah.
And this is why so many people wind up having to discount. I got a discount in order to close the sale because you were prospecting the wrong person. And let me run with this for a bit, because it's like you could have a Walmart shopper walk into a Nordstrom store. That does not mean that Walmart shopper is going to become a Nordstrom customer. They're not. They're just looking. And just like you said, inbound leads tend to be really, unfortunately, lower quality, lower value, and so forth. All they are is a heartbeat. Well, let me tell you something. My dog has got a heartbeat. Your dog has got a heartbeat. Your dog is not going to buy from me, and my dog is not going to buy from you. It's just not going to happen. And it comes back to that whole thing that you've been talking about. And I know you talk about it in your book. You know, who is your dream client? You know, who is your dream customer? That's where we got to be focused from a prospecting standpoint. But again, why do people not chase the dream client?
It's hard. It takes time. They're hard to penetrate. They're unreceptive. But ultimately, they're the best use of your time. So the coldest prospect that you have is the hottest lead that you have. The one that you already know is with your competitor and spends millions of dollars in your space, but isn't going to let you come in. That's where to spend the time, even though it's counterintuitive. And I'm, you know, in the staffing business, which I still have an interest in, whenever somebody brings in a really new sales rep, they always say the same thing. You know, everybody's already got somebody in our space. Wouldn't it be better if we went out and called on people who don't know about using staffing, and then we could teach them about that? And it's hard to tell them this, but they don't use what we sell. They don't use what we sell. There's no reason to call on people who don't buy what you sell. Yeah, but the other ones are hard to get. Yeah, they're hard for everybody to get, which is a great thing, because when you win your dream client, they tend to be extremely loyal and they stay with you for years and years, as long as you keep creating new value. That's where the real prospecting effort has to come when you look at a book like High Profit Prospecting, and you look at Mike's book, New Sales Simplified. I mean, you target and you spend your time where it's going to create the most value and where it creates the greatest return for you and your company. It's aligned with your strategy, helps you grow, helps you build a list of referable customers. It's the best place to spend time.
And it really says something, because it's not taking the easy path. Again, too many people take the easy path to try to prospect. Again, heartbeat, Walmart, no, you got to be focused on your dream client. You'll pay a little more sweat up front, but you'll wind up being far more profitable in the long run. And I know you talk about that a lot in this book here, which, again, people, hey, it really is a two-for. You got to buy one, you got to buy the other one. So anyway, hey, Mark, Hunter, Anthony Iannarino, two awesome guys. I can't say this about myself. You are an awesome guy.
You are an even more awesome guy.
Yeah. Right. Okay. now we're sucking each other's exhaust. But anyway, hey, let's go out and have some fun. Let's make it happen. Great selling.
See you soon. Thanks, Mark.